The maker of PDFpen gets acquired. What does that mean for one of our favorite utilities? This is MacVoices. Today's MacVoices is supported by MacVoices After Dark. Uncensored, off-topic, and always off the wall. MacVoices After Dark is available as a benefit to our Patreon subscribers. Sign up at patreon.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, MacVoices Live is back. We took a week off for Thanksgiving. I was doing some traveling, so we gave the team the night off. So we have a little bit of catch up to do and a whole lot of stuff to discuss tonight. We'll go around the room, see who all's here, and then we'll just get to it. Retaking his rightful place in the Sea of the Angels at the top left of my screen, Mr. David Ginsburg. David, good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Chuck. Hope you had good travels, and it was a little bit of a break, but we're so glad to be back. Looking forward to it.
Yep, I did, and I'm back. So the travels were uneventful from any kind of physical injury standpoint, which is good.
That's good.
Eric Bolden has appeared in the top right of my screen. Eric, good to see you.
Nice to see you too. It's been a great week. Got over some little snow today, and I wasn't driving in it, so.
That's good. And we at pre-show we noted that you are sporting a Black Panther T-shirt.
Wakanda forever. The camera refuses to show anything but the tips of the ears.
Yeah, you can't show it because it's too locked in on your face, so it's too efficient. There you go. There we go. We get a good shot of it. Jeff Gamet is here. Jeff, what can I say? Good to see you. Missed you.
I always miss you when we don't get to hang out, Chuck. And I'll point out the fact that you let me in tonight. That's all on you.
That's all right. It makes me happy.
Well, that's what really matters.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about me. Jim Ray is here sporting a California sweatshirt. I guess he needs to be reminded where he's from. Jim, good to see you.
I know where I'm from. You just all need to be reminded.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
As well as the internet at large.
Okay. So if we all just drive to California and scream Jim Ray, you'll appear. Is that it?
Don't do that.
Try the experiment and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a short weekend drive.
Mark's already in California, so he can try it right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
See?
I'm here.
And then there he is. He appeared. Yeah. So it's good. Next to Jim on my screen is the birthday girl herself, Brittany Smith. Brittany, good to see you and happy birthday.
Aw, thank you, Chuck. Good to see you.
I'm flattered that you would celebrate your birthday along with us.
Aw, I just wanted to have more people wish me happy birthday. It's all good.
No. All right. So everybody in the chat room wish Brittany a happy birthday, please. And on her Twitter account and anywhere else you can find her, wish her happy birthday. So now we'll hear ping, 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 ping throughout the evening.
Awesome. Unless I have my notifications off.
Oh, well, okay. Okay. Well, you can enjoy them. Enjoy the greetings later.
You have a focus mode for that.
Yeah. A birthday focus mode. The only messages to get through are birthday messages. Last but not least, Mr. Mark Fuccio, with the background that pretty much says it all at the moment with regarding the stock market. So, Mark, thank you.
Today was an ugly day. What can you say? But
yeah,
the evening is working out fine because we're back here discussing everything.
Yep, I agree. It's good to have everybody back in the saddle. And that means we need to play a little bit of catch up on a couple stories. So, but they were stories I thought were worth talking about. I wish Web were here because Web brought the first one in. That Nitro Software, who acquired PDFpen from Smile, it looks like they're going to be taken over. Based on a recommendation by KKR by a company called Alludo. So, it's worth noting just because that means that PDFpen is going to get handed off to yet another company. And so if you are or have been a PDFpen user, or I think they changed the name to Nitro PDF. David, do I have that right?
Yes, they changed it to Nitro PDF. You have to, once you upgrade, it's going to rebrand it to Nitro PDF or PDF Pro.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but it may be something you want to just, if you rely on PDFpen, you may want to take a good hard look at this. And hey, if it's maintained, wonderful, but you might want to do a little research into alternatives. Mark, you had some thoughts on this, I believe.
Yes, I do. I think that, what was it, about a year, 18 months ago, that Smile spun off the PDFpen product to a Nitro. And I think you had either Gowan or on your show talking about it. But looking at this seems to me that I have a suspicion, and only time will tell if this is right or if it's just another strikeout. But I have a suspicion that what they want to do is convert from selling licenses to a subscription-based type of business model. And I think that's why these two different PE private equity firms are interested in buying it. We'll have to see what happens. It's interesting they're doing it now. I don't know if there was a compelling reason for them to sell. I think a couple of years ago, Nitro was bought by who's the parent of the go-to things. Is it LogMeIn or somebody like that? So
yeah, LogMeIn.
Yeah, so I think they realize they have this use of PDFs are growing, and this product is selling licenses, and they have it looks like Smile was selling to individuals and Nitro was trying to sell to corporations, and the justification for the sale at that time was, hey, PDFpen has way more features than Nitro does, so we need this in order to upgrade the functionality of our Windows users. But now that it's a year or whatever or more has passed, they're probably looking around and seeing that the whole world is going gaga over the idea of SaaS, software as a service companies, and they're probably thinking, well, how do we could do the same thing here. To me, the question is there enough new features that they could add to really justify and motivate people to purchase it as a SaaS, as an ongoing service, versus just hold on to their old licenses for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years until they get so old and creaky that they finally die on their own before they have to upgrade, and then they finally find out that the only upgrade path available is as a service, monthly payments. So that's what I think is going on. I'm curious about the timing because about a year ago, SaaS companies, sort of the median valuation multiple, in terms of the value of the company as a multiple of its annual recurring sales, was in the high teens, and this year it's down in the low teens or even in the 12s or 11s. So for Nitro or whoever Nitro's parent is to spin it off at this time, they're not getting the best deal out there, unless of course they have future equity kickers and things that will motivate them, or give them additional money in the future. Ultimately, we don't know how the deal is structured. It's a private company. They don't have to do anything to tell anybody about that. But if it ultimately works out and grows and gets taken public, like so many SaaS companies do, then they will have to publish, give a peek at least to some of the revenues. So that's what I think is going on there. I think in the short term, I still use an old, I think it's PDF Pro 12 license. Sadly, I haven't seen any value in additional functionality has been zero value to me. I haven't upgraded. I've been using the product since PDFpen 6, so I've upgraded regularly when I see value to it. But some of the most recent thing is it seems like a pretty darn mature product, and no reason to upgrade, especially since the upgrade is coming right on the timing of the product being acquired by a new company. So a lot of ground there, lots of thoughts. So I throw it back to you, Chuck, to send somebody else to the panel to comment.
Yeah, well, I want to welcome Web Bixby to the panel. Web, it's good to see you. Happy post-Thanksgiving.
How's my audio? Is it working?
Sounds great.
Okay, very good, very good.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, Web. Before you start, I wanted to make sure you knew it was Brittany's birthday.
I
that's
did.
really important
I
tonight.
did.
So yeah.
Happy.
So
Thank you.
You brought this story in, and so I'm curious to get your thoughts. I know Jeff has some too, but I wanted to get yours, Web, since you brought it in.
Well, like Mark said, I've been using PDFpen for a long time. Well, it's as a matter of fact, Gene McDonald did it. Macworld gave me a complimentary license, and I've been using it ever since, and upgrading and purchasing. So I just used it out of habit, but it is the PDF viewer that I use every day. And I went through the whole Nitro transition too, and it had a couple of bumps in the road, but it worked. I'll tell you what I'm having trouble with right now, just today, is that they have a bunch of Apple scripts that the Smile had that did things like you could split up PDFs and combine them and so on and so forth. And I can't get those Apple scripts to work. That's a user error, not anything on the system. I just don't know how to load Apple scripts. Anyway. I thought it was interesting that I came across this, and how I came across it was Joe Cassell and his Take Control books, and he sent out an email about updating different books that he had, and one of the questions was about PDFpen that he'd done a book on, and that's when he first mentioned that they were under some form of a new ownership, and so the Take Control book on PDFpen is kind of up in the air whether they're going to update it or not. So that's how I found out about it. Did a little bit deeper. KKR, Colbert Kravis, as Mark said, is a big private equity firm. Anyway, and they have another fund called Alludo. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but so that's just, they bought it and they put it in there. I think the thing that Chuck, I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago, privately in a chat, was Smile had a real passion for their products, and I'm worried that passion is gone. Yeah, they're in it to make money too. Don't get me wrong, but I think they had a passion to grow it and make it a better program. I don't know if Nitro had that same ambition, and now I don't know if KKR has that same ambition too. These funds, these capital funds, are very much about not return of capital or return on capital, but return on capital. And so they're in it to make a buck or two. And I hope that I'm hoping that everything turns out just fine. I don't disagree with Mark also, is that it could be moving over and transitioning to a software as a service model or a subscription model. That's okay. I'd probably continue to use it if the software progressed too. So anyway, I saw it. That's how I found it. I thought it was interesting. Thought I'd share it.
No, I appreciate it. Especially with something as high profile as PDFpen is. Whether you use the regular version or the pro version, or who was it in the chat room pointed it out, Barry, that it's still part of SetApp as well. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of different ways to have it. Jeff, you wanted in on this. What are your thoughts?
Okay. First, a little bit of background. So Nitro, they've had a robust PDF editing tool for Windows for a long time, and they've been pushing that out to businesses as part of their whole software package. What they didn't have was a Mac PDF tool. So for a very long time, Nitro was white labeling PDFpen. This is not an industry secret. This is something that if you were using PDFpen, as a Nitro customer, you knew where the software originally came from anyhow. So when Smile needed to transition to, and this part is my speculation, when Smile decided they needed to transition into focusing exclusively on text expander, it made sense for Nitro to buy PDFpen. So there, off it goes, and now it's no longer a white label thing. It's just Nitro's PDFpen. Okay, so now we get Potentia's offer to buy Nitro, which I look at and think this is really bad. Then we get the Alludo offer, which is a better offer. While I am concerned about equity investment companies buying up products, there's some background on Alludo. Alludo, you probably know from its former name, Corel. So this is a software company that's owned by an investment firm. And so all of these software tools that are still being made and still being used, like Corel Draw, WordPerfect. Now, and okay, so now WordPerfect, all of us are sitting here thinking, wait, really? That's a thing? Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Especially in the legal space. Yeah, WordPerfect is still a big thing. So, so assuming this deal goes through, which I guess there's that process can start next year. It gives me a little bit of hope, because that means that the PDFpen properties would be managed by a company that is all about managing software. So do we need to look for a replacement for PDFpen and PDFpen Pro today? No. If it's working for you, great. And yes, I'm using version 13 point whatever the current rev is. And it's, it's like any other tool. If you have a version that's doing what you need, why do you need to change? And is this going to transition to a subscription only model? Maybe not. But at least I have a little bit of hope that PDFpen will continue on and will get relevant updates, which, by the way, is harder to do now because PDF as a platform is so mature now. How much more can we really do with the software? So, but regardless, I have a smidgen of hope that PDFpen will continue on, and that it will be supported for a long time, and we won't have to go looking for a new PDF editor on the Mac. And part of that is also me really, really, really not wanting to have to go hunting for a new PDF editor on the Mac.
This edition of Mac Voices is supported by our Patreon subscribers and MacVoices After Dark. Ever wonder what happens before the Mac Voices live shows? Or what happens when the show ends or after the live feed closes? That's where Mac Voices After Dark comes in. If you are a Patreon supporter at any level, you get access to the video of our off-camera conversations. Uncensored, unedited, and always off the wall. It's a small thank you to our Patreon supporters who want to peek behind the curtain. Become a Patreon subscriber at patreon.com/MacVoices. And thanks to everyone who supports the show. Agreed, Jeff. Agreed. I want to get David in, and then I can throw in some thoughts too.
Yeah, you look at Corel's current catalog of apps. You know that the PDF, Nitro PDF would fit nicely in their portfolio. You look at it. So they got. They also bought Roxio. If you remember, Roxio was very popular with CD burning back in those days. Mm-hmm. That's still a thing, surprisingly, just like WordPerfect. But they also almost 4 years ago now, the Parallels is now part of Corel. So that Corel is really this company is really scooping up a lot of these software companies. So this is definitely going to be an interesting thing if Nitro PDF, but now moves over to this portfolio.
Yeah, the only thing I agree with what Mark said. Use your old license, but the thing that always concerns me about doing that is that I'm going to discover that it breaks in the next iteration of the Mac OS, and it's going to break at a time when it is the absolute most inconvenient for me possible. That's always the way it works. And so, I don't know. I mean, I've the other thing that has caused me to back off just a little bit from PDFpen, there's still a lot of capabilities that I haven't duplicated in Preview, but Preview has become so much more robust. Mm-hmm. I think Mark was asking in our private chat if you can redact blocks of text in Preview, and now yes. My understanding is you can. That it's not just drawing a black box over it that somebody else could remove later. That it does take out the information underneath. Does anyone have a confirmation of that?
I do not. But then again, I can't imagine wanting to do redaction in Preview when I have PDFpen. That does proper redaction. So, yeah, I don't know. I should test that.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's one of those features that you got to be absolutely sure that it works the way you want it to work, or you can end up sending something to someone, they just remove the black box and they can see exactly what you were trying to redact.
Well, if Joe Kissel is listening, he should write, how to take control of moving from PDFpen to Preview. For those who are overly worried about something bad happening.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's
first
much
chapter,
money in that
I
book.
think would be don't.
Yeah,
because isn't there a take control of Preview? I can't remember.
There probably is.
I think take control of PDFpen might have been one of the sponsored books that Smile paid for. I can't remember, because a few of the books, the take control books, are sponsored, although usually those are free.
Right. Yeah, like I get free version for Devon thing. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Adam and Josh collaborated together for a book of Take Control of Preview.
Yes, they did. They did.
See, here's the problem, at least for me, with going to Preview as a replacement for PDFpen. It does only a fraction of the things that I need a PDF tool to do. You can't make proper forms in Preview. Actually, can you make forms at all? And you can't do proper PDF encryption in Preview unless that's a brand new thing. And with those two features right there, that's a showstopper. And I mean, making forms in PDFpen is so robust that long ago, when I worked in prepress, and your only real option for creating forms as PDF was Acrobat Pro, didn't use it. We used PDFpen instead because it was it offered more functionality and it was easier to use, and I think that still holds true today.
And Jeff, I think you just sort of proved a point of one kind that. For you, with your needs or your wants, and maybe for web too, I don't know if I'm speaking for web. There are definitely things that PDFpen in its current incarnation can do that Preview can't. So I take nothing away from PDFpen. It depends on your needs. If you need really great OCR, then you're going to need to go to PDFpen. But if you just need to be able to open and maybe do some minor edits on a PDF, then Preview is a pretty good option.
Well,
and
I forgot to mention
it's included.
Yeah, I use PDFpen for OCR, quite frequently, and then occasionally to convert to a Excel or a Word document. I do that, maybe 3-4 times a year. So, I mean, it is a very sophisticated, robust tool for clearly for power users, whereas Preview is probably for people who don't need to do all those different things. But I think I would say just, I don't know, maybe to wrap up the segment, but private equity firms, a lot of people just sort of initially have a gut reaction. Something has changed. Oh, it's bad. I'm bummed. I need to find a replacement. But they're not motivated, to drive away, their customer base. They're motivated to find new ways to sell people something. And to the extent that they come out with different combinations of services, or maybe services at a lower price point, because I think PDFpen now is around 140-ish, 120.
It's 179 now.
179. So that's that's
No.
dramatically. But anyway, I think there's a lot of people out there who
it's 140.
Okay, yeah. But like I said, they don't need,
Basic.
they don't necessarily need all of those features. So that seems like an expensive price point.
It's a cheap price point for business.
Yes, it is. But businesses already have the licenses. So the conundrum is, okay, what new functionality are you going to add to get people to subscribe? So I think that's the question that the new owners and the product team there is going to have to figure out. But for anybody who already owns a license, unless Apple makes a change to the OS, like Chuck said, that borks and breaks the version you have, you're insulated from any change of a business model that they may have.
Yeah. The only thing, and we've talked about this I think before. It's one thing, add features. Yeah, that's what everybody wants to do. In a lot of cases, I'd be just happy if a company will maintain the software and just give me some assurances that it's not going to break with the next iteration of the OS, or that they are committed to maintaining it. And if I need to pay upgrades to have them do that, I don't have that problem. I don't have a problem with that, especially if it's something I use a lot and depend on. So I hear what you're saying, and I agree. There's always that, but there's always that push to add new features, and then you end up with something like Microsoft Word that has features that nobody uses, clutters everything up, and so. I add features that are functional and usable, great, but please don't clutter it up.
Well, Chuck, new features in a tool like this, as I've been sitting here thinking about it, will relate to changes in the PDF standards, and then like if DocuSign makes changes in the way that they process digital signatures. These are the kinds of things that we'll see as changes or updates in products like PDFpen and PDFpen Pro. If there's a change in the way the PDF standard handles form content or something, okay, that's another update right there. But yeah. As far as the bells and whistles features, I don't know how much more you can squeeze into this type of product, simply because you can't go beyond what the PDF standard is, because at that point, you're no longer making a PDF. You're making a custom document based on what PDF is supposed to be, but now you need a special reader to work with it, or open it with another PDF viewer, and you don't have all of what's supposed to be in the document.
Yeah.
Oh man, today DocuSign was even worse than the Apple or the market indexes. It was down 10.24%, down to 4183. So ugly world out there.
Yeah. And Brittany, it looks like you're agreeing with me that you'd be happy to pay, a fee just to make sure that your software continues to work.
No, what I'm saying is it's not worth it for me to pay a subscription to use a thing once every 3 years. But I don't mind, like that one time I needed something fancier that I booted up my old MacBook Pro with the license to use it, because preview's fine 99% of the time. I don't mind paying the license once. I want it to work like for a few years, and I'll pay it once. I don't need a lot of fancy features, and I don't need it very often. But I am never paying a subscription for something I use once every 3 years.
That makes sense.
I'll buy Kelly a drink and send her the document to redact for me. Like, not joking.
Yeah, no, and that's always the big problem with subscriptions is, I have no problem paying for subscriptions with things I use every day or a couple times a week or something like that. But yeah, once a month, once every couple months, now that's starting to get into a problem area for me.
And there's not an easy solution, right? Like currently I'm using Final Cut all the time, but that hasn't always been true. Sometimes it's been here or there. And fortunately, I don't have to make that choice because the person who makes my hardware makes it. And anyway, they haven't had a paid upgrade in forever. I don't know what that means for the future, but it's a thing.
What you want is for other companies to license the software the way my company does. Seriously. What Panorama is licensed, it's per month, but it's not a clock. It's only if you use it.
That's a viable model.
It is viable. I'd also I don't need a lot of fancy things. I just need a couple things that Preview doesn't do, and not very often. That is a lot of thinking to do. Like, oh, right, I got to go do the thing and license the thing. So I don't know, but it's definitely not a subscription for me. So, and sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, that thing, I'm using it all the time now. Didn't they have a software update that I can pay for to get the other feature? Awesome, I will do that.
That's why I made that licensing system just for people like you. It's like, well, it's not really, if somebody, it just bills as much as they use it.
Yeah.
Hey, before we move on, sorry, Britt, another point?
Oh, it was just somebody said, oh, for businesses, it's fine. They can do that. I was like, well, my business doesn't do it that much. So it sort of depends on what you're actually doing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I basically use PDFpen once a year when I do my taxes.
Right.
Right.
And I'm using PDFpen at least 3 times a week.
Yeah, so there you go. Before we move on, I did want to ask Webb to clarify, because he put in our private chat that you cannot completely redact using Preview. Is that I assume you looked something up, Webb?
Yeah, I have the Take Control book. I have a lot of Take Control books. I just looked it up real quick, and it said that on page 27, what Preview can't do with PDFs, and one is real redaction. The real redaction features found in PDFpen Pro and Acrobat Pro. You can black out text, but you can't do it in Preview. So,
in the next part of this Catch Up MacVoices live session, the panel takes a look at the LastPass hack from a practical standpoint, comparing the methods used by 1Password and LastPass to protect your data, and you might be surprised at some of the results. That's next time on MacVoices. I hope you'll join us. Until then, and as always, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.